Planning on doing any renovation, whether it's adding a room or upgrading your space, whether or not it's big or small, there's a few things you need to look out for and keep in the know. Hey guys, welcome back to the side of the internet where we share life lessons and things they simply don't teach. I'm Shani if you're new here. And if you like this kind of content, hit that red subscribe button and join the family. So let's get into it. When I was renovating my home, there are a few things that I learned along the way and I'm here to share it with you. Because I don't want you to go into this whole home ownership and renovation process in the dark. So I encourage you to make a realistic budget. Don't just go with what man tell you as an estimated cost. Get a quotation. Get the material that you may need for the renovation. And I tell you this, keep a contingency fund up to 20% of what the estimated cost of a project is. Because you don't know, things can happen that you have to be prepared for, especially financially. Because I remember when I was renovating my home and I had a major leak. A major leak, I had to have the entire house replumbed, and the money that I had to pay to National Water Commission, whew, I wish I got that back. That money would be good to me now. So there are things like that, things that you, when you're when your contractor bucks up on them, they're like, oh, we're going to need to buy this more or we're going to fix this before we can continue the project. So just keep that in mind, keep an open mind that these things can happen. You just have to be prepared. What is the scope of your project? Will you need a permit? Yes. Usually, if you're just, probably renovating your bathroom, you don't necessarily need a permit. However, if you are doing any form of expansion or changing the structure of your property, you will have to get a permit from the parish council. What you need first to submit to parish council is an architectural drawing of your plans and submit that to your parish council and wait until the permit is granted. I'm not sure of any fees right now. I'd have to find that out. But if you know the fees, leave them in the comments below for other persons because what we don't gatekeep over here. And the reason why this is extremely important, and I've seen it happen to persons where they start to do expansion, they're going upstairs and all of these things, and parish council passes by and stops the project. You don't want that to be you. Just do the right thing from the start so that your project is not hampered or halted. Another advice that I'll give you is to consider upgrading, especially your electrical at the same time. So if you're doing any renovations in the bathroom, like probably tiling over and all of that, I would say consider adding an extra plug, especially for us females. Add a plug right under the mirror by the sink so you can, do your blow drying and your flat ironing, you can, right? So consider upgrading your electrical and plumbing. So if the project can facilitate it, why not go ahead and do so? While we're on plumbing, there is something, if you live in Jamaica and you're renovating, as long as the National Water Commission deems that your property is a construction site, whether it is big or small, they will classify your property as a commercial property and you will be charged at a commercial rate. So look out for it. It's at the top right corner of your bill to see what rate you are being charged as. It's either it is residential or commercial. When your renovation is complete, you then have the responsibility to inform the Water Commission that your renovations are completed and they will come and do a check to see that yes, it was completed and you will now be moved back to residential. So keep that in mind. You might be wondering, oh, water bills are annoy you so much? Yeah, that's because Water Commission has classified you as commercial. Unfortunately for you, if you renovate for like a good 10 years and just a build your house block by block, I'm so sorry, but this is what Water Commission does. Yeah. The weather can be unpredictable and it can throw off our plans, it can throw off our timelines. But just be flexible. Especially with Jamaica living in the Caribbean, you have hurricanes. Things can happen. Storms, hurricanes, unexpected heavy rainfall that can stop the progress of your project. Try to be flexible. Yes, you might want to finish by this date, but man a plan and God a wipe. Okay. Now this tip is for those who like their space to be really clean and they love to clean. When you're picking your fixtures and your tiles and all of these things, consider would this be easy to clean? Would this be easy to clean? Because you don't want to put yourself in no stress because you want this fancy something. And when it's time to clean, you stress out every time. So when you're making your choices, consider would this be easy to clean? I'm telling you, you might not think about it now, but when it's time to clean, you're going to say, I want to buy this for. So guys, think about that as well. I know for a lot of us young adults, we might have this big dream of this huge renovation, but the pocket not really match the dream. I say to you, go with what you can afford now until you can afford what you want. Don't try and follow the Joneses and try to do what X person is doing. You don't know how they got there. You don't know if they're doing it out of pocket or they're doing it with a loan or anything. So you know you cannot afford to do this kind of renovation. Stick to your budget. Focus on what you can afford now until you can do what you want. Especially if you are a homeowner, remember it is your space. You might not be able to do the grand project now, but if you do a small one, it is still your property. And in the next few years, when it is still your property, you can do that grand renovation and you can afford to do so. And my last tip to you is follow your heart. You might be wondering what does that have to do with renovating? But if you know that you want something to be done, if you want that kind of kitchen style, if you want that bathroom style, if you want that build out in your living room, follow your heart, but also pay attention to what the experts have to say. And yes, you might want the island, but the space cannot accommodate an island. Think about a peninsula. At least you kinda will get the island that you want. So follow your heart, ask for alternatives. If you want something, stick to it. But if the professionals say it cannot happen, in their professional opinion, it cannot happen, what would be the alternative for you to get what your heart desires? Happy renovating. I hope these tips helped you learn something new. If you have any other tips or you have your experiences, share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. Things that you learned while renovating. Share them with us all. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time for another video as we navigate life together.